Hello, adventurers. It is Sunday morning. I am your host, Dungeon Master Roy of Dark Alchemy, and I'm here with my fellow Dark Alchemist and forever Dungeon Master, DM Evanson.
Happy to be here.
And today we are doing Don't Go to Gen Con Without Watching This, some non-newbie Gen Con tips. And we're going to start off with a favorite Gen Con moment from any Gen Con. So, DM Evanson, do you want to start us off with a story or something that was favorite at some Gen Con you went to?
Sure. My particular favorite Gen Con was the first one. I think it was 2007. We went there with a small group. I think there was 4 of us in total. And it was a great time, great experience, blown away by everything. But the thing that stands out the most, I should say, is we played Battlestar Galactica, the board game.
Okay.
A hidden Cylon role. And we played it with, I think 6 players at the time was the max. And we played it with 3 other randoms, or if I should say 4 other randoms. And it was a great night. And I've never played a game quite like that, so it was like a big introduction into that whole field. It was we brought a bottle to the convention. We were drinking rum. We gave the Cylon the nukes, and he threw it out the airlock. It's a great game. I ended up buying it. It's still a game I play today, and everyone that plays it ends up loving it as well. So it's a good memory, and it's the reason I keep coming back is for those moments at the table.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
So, well, before I jump into that, I just want to pull this up. Battlestar Galactica 2nd Edition. This is the game. This is no longer in print, right? I mean,
no. Matter of fact, look at that price tag.
That's exactly what stood out to me. $275 for a good condition or near mint condition or an open.
And that's second ed too.
That's second ed, and you own this game. We can make some money off this.
I definitely own the first ed. I believe it's first ed. And I'm not sure when the second ed was official.
Yeah,
but I mean, I bought it at Gen Con, so it came out like a year or 6 months before it was even released. Yeah. So, but yeah, it was fantastic. What a great game. Good memories. I would think I was the president, and I had an ability to give it out an extra action, and I gave it to this guy, and he ended up being the Cylon, and he took the nukes and threw it out the airlock, revealed his Cylon, which normally you can only do one of those as an action. But I blessed him with 2 actions, so he threw. I think he threw both nukes out.
Oh, because he had a double action. You didn't know it's a deception game.
And everyone thought I knew, and everyone thought I was the Cylon working with him, so they threw me in a break.
Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, so. It was great. Great game.
So for me, for Gen Con, I've only gone a couple times recently. Now I never gone really far in the past. Went to the 50th anniversary Gen Con, and then we went last year. And my favorite moments were actually talking to people, because we were interviewing people as we started this channel up, and seeing these different tables set up where we played one game where it was a modified RPG and board game where it was Alice in Wonderland, and we each had a different character for Alice in Wonderland. I think I was the like the Mad Hatter with the watch, and this board was actually made out of the dental plaster, the casting, and it was painted. And there was 4 different sections. We had to defeat the Red Queen. So as a team, we had to go around through the big door and the little door. And there were these little tiny doors on it that if you took the potion, you were small, you go through the little door. And there was a medium door and a big door. And there's teleportation circles and spots. And there was different guards you had to fight. And there was toadstools. And just the amount of effort that went into what people bring to Gen Con to present. We saw a full-size Settlers of Catan board. We saw a giant diplomacy board where everybody had their own hat for that ruler. There was a German pointy hat. There was a French beret. There was a British hat. And I think you like the crop sticks. So they had like long crop sticks to move the miniatures around. There was life-size battle pods where you can fight BattleTech and have these mechs. And that person who bought those pods had to bring all those pods there and hook them together in a computer, taking up a whole section, which was hundreds of square feet. There was a full-sized Space Hulk, which was about 15 or 20 feet long with the map, where not only were you using the fighting the xenomorphs or the Tyranids, with the Space Marines, but you had full size Tyranids on the Space Hulk. You had dreadnoughts fighting, teleporting on this giant spaceship. Just the amount of stuff that is set up. And then on the individual vendors room, you have a board game set up, and maybe this person is new and he's selling this board game, but his whole booth is themed for it. His whole booth is themed for that board game with all the accessories and just the amount of effort that went into the entire setup. And every way you look, it's that same amount of effort. So I think that was really really awesome to see. So my advice to people would be, take the time to enjoy wherever you are.
Yeah,
you might be at that giant game mat. You might be in front of somebody's booth who really set it up. You might be selling miniatures, and the miniatures are all in acrylic cases. They're all fully painted. There's a little explanation card for each one. I mean, that takes a lot of work to present all that.
Yeah, well said. Definitely well said. The effort in everyone's booths is truly astonishing, and the grand scale of things. Galaxy Trucker enlarged, like you said, or diplomacy. It's just cool to see. It's silly. It's things that you would only see at a con. To even justify doing it. But yeah, it's very big, very grand, fantastic. And enjoy the moment. You're right. You're not going to see everything. You're going to miss everything. There's going to be stuff that you're not even going to know they had. You'll read about it a year from now and be like, that was there.
Exactly.
But yeah, just enjoy the moment. Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go over some resources that people can turn to in order to get more information. So
yeah, if it's your first time, or if you have a lot of general questions about housing or locations or tips and tricks, there's so many videos out there. We're not gonna repeat a lot of that because they've done it better. They have it well edited, and some of the videos are older, but they are a testament of time because they always pop up in that same category. They have a lot of views, and the information is still valid. One particular gentleman is Travel the Board. He is a big board gamer on YouTube. He constantly goes to cons and updates his vlogs and gives you a couple of tips throughout the year. House Hedge Gaming, I should say, and the Board Game Sherpa all do really good reviews, Gen Con, and tips and tricks throughout the year leading up to it. So I'd say check them out. There's lots of vlogs if you want looking for how the setup is, or if you want to see how packed it is. I would go down any one of those routes if you want to get a good image of what it looks like or what to expect.
Sounds good. Before I move on to our next tip, I want to say two things. I want to say, one, subscribing is the best way to support us. We are trying to grow our channel and reach our 1,000 subscribers. So if you're listening to this, please hit that subscribe button so we can grow and keep sharing this content. And the second thing I want to represent today, I'm wearing my Vecna Strahd 2028 shirt, available on our Etsy store. Why choose the lesser of two evils? I hope Vecna and Strahd win the election in 2028 so we can move forward with a more sane political society. So the next thing I want to share is sharing the screen for the Fans of Gen Con page on Facebook. So if you have the Facebook, you can go on the Fans of Gen Con page, and it's just a good overall resource. People post on there. They might not have a ticket, and they're looking for a ticket. They might not be able to make it into selling a ticket. People are always posting hotel rooms that are a little bit closer to the convention. People are posting their information about what they want to see, or if they are a fan but also vending, they'll post oh, this is going to be my booth. People talk about some of the best foods. People talk about the construction around the area and getting around. So definitely scroll through there. And there's also, I guess, a little bit of showing off. So this person here is showing off all his cool tickets and what he has in his 4-day badge. Now, I did get my 4-day badge, Dave.
Yes.
I got my tickets. Did you get yours?
Yep, I got it in yesterday.
I believe the Dead Professor is also waiting on his, but my last name begins with the letter B, as in Bravo. And your last name begins with letter D as in Delta. So I think maybe they are being mailed out alphabetically. So if you're one of the
They're actually going reverse. So they're taking
oh really?
A and Z, and they're meeting in the middle.
So
So
if you're in the middle of the alphabet, you will be
you're
last.
last. Yep.
Okay, but
Yeah.
but I haven't had any problem. I mean, I feel like it's really well organized. Their ticketing system is well organized.
The Facebook page is really good. If you have any general questions and you post in there, people are very helpful. They go above and beyond. So even the silliest of questions, they answer it, and sometimes answer it every day as people ask it over and over again. But great resource. There's even local gaming shops that run little mini conventions leading up to the con. So if you get there a day early or the week early, there's something going on almost every night leading up to the con at the local shops.
You know, that the local shops is a good point. I feel like when I went to the 50th anniversary, I was there with the dead Professor Scott, and he wanted a book or something, and it wasn't available at the show. But the guy said, "Oh, it's at my shop." And I think we drove over. It was 20 minutes away. We wanted to take a break anyway and get out, maybe get some food that wasn't really very close by. And we went to a shop, and it was actually a lot of people there. I guess it was a good opportunity to get some stuff that even with the online purchasing, Amazon, all this other stuff, some stuff is still harder to get.
Yeah,
might be a rarer book, a book that's out of print, a game that's out of print. So, yeah, take a ride and support the local shops.
And you were just scrolling past on the Facebook page of the fans. There was actual artists are going to be there and authors of many fantasy books or sci-fi books alike. You'll see they have Artist Alley, and they have I forget the alley for the books, but there are
author.
Thank you, author alley.
Author and artist alleys. Yep.
Fantastic. There is tons of them. I just got done reading the book I picked up last year.
Oh, really?
Book one. It was. I just got done reading a whole bunch of like really well-established books. So like, oh, you got to read, and they were meh. And I finally got them off my list, and I went back and like, let me read this book just in case he's there. I think his name is Mike Schill, and it was the Aching God, and it was fantastic. I hope he's there because I want to buy the rest of his books. So,
all right, Mike Schill, the Aching God, good author.
I got
remind me about that.
And it was nice. He gave a little stamp of the book, and he's like, "You'll understand it once you start reading it." And he signed it personally. He did try to get me to buy the other ones, but I didn't feel like carrying around 3 or 4 500-page books. It gets heavy after a while. But I wish I did in hindsight because I don't know if he's going to be there. But there's the artists. So if you're a big fan of Magic the Gathering and maybe you like a particular artist, you should check out. There's a YouTuber named the Upper 90 Teacher. He's currently doing a through Z art showcase of cards. So if there's an artist that you like, he'll go through it. He'll see if they're going to be there. And he'll be like, this is Mario, and these are the 20 different cards he did art for, Pokemon, Magic, or whatever different cards he designed. For instance, this is a particular visit. So he'll go through it. He'll show you the artist. This particular one is L through M. So it's a good way to see if you want to maybe get an autograph, maybe see what kind of prints they have for sale, support the local artists. It's something I'm probably going to see and check out, and hopefully get a card or two signed.
So, Evanson, you are very, very in the card kind of world, right? You buy, sell, and trade these cards. I used to have a Magic collection that kind of disappeared, and I've been buying some little stuff here and there, but I really haven't been really diving too much into it. I have the starter sets and the what do you call the box sets that are all complete? I have the Fallout sets.
The pre-cons.
The pre-cons. I'm into the pre-cons because I don't have to really, even though I would like to tune them, I don't have to tune them too much. But what do you think is the attraction of the signed cards? Is it increased the value? Is it something you're going to now play with a signed card? Can you play with a signed card?
You could absolutely play with a signed card. It does increase the value depending on the artist. I mean, it's usually may just be the the same price that they charged for the signature. Other times, it's just like a well-known artist. Maybe he's going into retirement soon or something. Or you just people fall in love with a style and then they find out, who that artist is, and then they just like want to collect everything in that, especially with the secret layer stuff. And you're getting all these artists to do these really good takes on these original cards. It's definitely opened up a new or broadened a new area of collection in that regard. I mean, it's not new, but it's more prevalent. I see, especially in the Magic community. Our friend Brian from the shop, who's a Magic judge, kind of turned me on to the whole, hey, signatures and arts. Like, I never really thought of that. And then just something opened up. Kind of like, oh yeah, there's actual actors behind the voices of the shows you watch, or the cartoon shows. You're like, oh yeah, there's artists behind all this. It makes sense. It's all the way at the bottom of their name. But yeah, so it's just something to do if you like trading or you like collecting or you want to do a display piece, or maybe you want to turn a card into a little bit of profit, depending if there is you got to check those. Sometimes the artists sign alt cards to their card because maybe they don't have the rights to sign the card, or they don't want to sign a Magic card. So you got to check. Sometimes they have like playing mats, so they'll take a particular art that you're maybe a fan of, and now it's a play mat, so they'll still sign those. I believe our buddy Andrew picked up a Liliana playmat signed by the artist who did Liliana. So same regard, you might want to just get, decked out in their gear. They have, posters and this and that. Depends on the artist. So you can really get go crazy and decked out.
Now I did, and you were there also. We did go to Long Island Trek this year, Star Trek convention, and we were selling some Dark Alchemy miniatures and such. I got a signature from John Noble, who played Denethor for Lord of the Rings as the Steward of Gondor for a friend. And I did notice that, and this might be true at Gen Con. I'm pretty sure it will be true, so I want to confirm it with you. What you think? There was at the very end. And you have to be aware of this. At the very end, there was somebody doing grading and sealing. So if you get a card signed and you don't want to walk around with it and you're not going to play with it, you might want to get it, authenticated immediately. And they'll be able to do that there for a small fee. And that's something you might not think of if you are a true collector of these cards, to get it authenticated and sealed right away, or graded right away if they can do it there.
Yeah, if you're into grading and preserving it, and hey, this is something that I never want to resell, or I don't need to play with. I want to put it on my mantle or on my display. That grading is a perfect way to preserve it for that very reason. Or there, at the very least, is going to be plenty of places on the dealer floor to buy a plastic case to put your single in and make sure it doesn't bend. At the very least. Yeah. So definitely good to do. So most of them will sell you a petty sleeve at the very least.
Yeah, exactly. So let's move to the topic of food. We stayed in a hotel. I know there's some hotels that are close, some hotels that are far. Most will have a breakfast buffet, which will be discounted. But honestly, their discounted version could be like $22 or $25 for the buffet.
Yeah.
And I'm doing kind of carnivore. I eat mostly meat and eggs, so there's a lot of carbs, a lot of bread, which I try to stay away from myself. That's a personal choice. So the things I like to do is stock the mini fridge in the hotel. I always try to get a room with a mini fridge. So we'll go out the night before. We'll stop somewhere. I'll get hard-boiled eggs. I'll get a bunch of deli meats. I'll get some yogurts. I'll get some drinks. So if you're back in a hotel room, you can grab a quick snack. Eating at Gen Con is good. It's fun. It's a trip. It's an adventure. It's a vacation, but it can get a little expensive. So I think people should be aware of that. You have a good food budget, and you could be walking maybe 10 to 20,000 steps a day or more. You can be walking up to 5-6 miles a day. So you're going to be burning through those calories. So I think food and hydration.
You find yourself very hungry quickly. You'd be like, wow, I haven't eaten anything in the last 8 hours.
Yeah. Now, last year's food list is up. There was over 40 food trucks last year. It was on the street between Lucas Oil Stadium and the main convention center. A little bit of a, not too much of a walk, a little bit of a walk. So I'll just go through some of the highlights that stand out from my little list here. We had 3 girls in a deli. There was a bistro and a bagel food truck, so you can definitely get breakfast over there. There's a couple hamburger food trucks and grilled food trucks, grilled meat, grilled burgers, French fries. There was a shrimp food truck, hot dog food truck, a couple hot dog food trucks. There are some food trucks that have cups. Cupzilla was there, basically food in a cup. There was poke bowls. I think there was a couple poke bowls. There was a lobster truck, a mac and cheese truck, frozen treats, nacho truck, a lot of taco and Mexican trucks, because that's an easy food to make.
I was actually surprised there was lobster. There was like a lobster specialty seafood truck. That's coming back. They apparently were pretty big. I mean, they had some big lobster rolls, but just never thought seafood at a con.
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, the quality of all the trucks that they pick are top notch.
Top notch.
All the food I've had from these different trucks was good quality. It was expensive, so a lobster roll is going to be expensive. I mean, a regular lobster roll could be, in the local.
Yeah, I think I saw everything on that menu was around the $18 to $30 range. So you had some $20, $25, which is for a meal is not outrageous, but it's to be kind of expected at these type of things. But yeah, like you said, it's you definitely get your worth out of it. It's just it's pricey.
Yeah. Now there are a lot of local restaurants. There are some sponsored by Gen Con where they have special Gen Con drinks that are named after different things happening at the con, or named after different games that are sponsored. But if you have a car, or somebody has a car, and you're not afraid to drive 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, taking a little time out of your day, once you leave that immediate vicinity, then there's plenty of food places that are just regular prices. We went to a barbecue place. We drove about half an hour. Went to a barbecue place a couple of years back, and that's where we had our first drink of Evan Williams, a cherry bourbon mixed in a Coke. Yes. And it was like I think so, and some good barbecue. I think at that time we actually took an Uber a little farther away, and it wasn't, I mean, it's the cost of the Uber, but we wanted to just kind of get out of the convention area for just a little bit. Yeah, you never have to leave either.
Yeah, last year we were about 15 minutes away where our hotel was, and it was in an area that there was a country kitchen. What do they call that place?
Oh, the Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel. It was a Cracker Barrel in like the same parking lot almost, and as well as several other fast food joints, or sit down style joints, or chain joints, I should say.
Did we get steak and eggs every morning for breakfast?
Almost. We actually ate at Panera a lot.
Oh, that's right.
There's a Panera downtown, like basically up 2 blocks from the con. So we basically ordered on our phones, and by the time we got there, everything was ready to go. Well, we did eat steak and eggs there twice. So,
well, that Dave, DM Evanson, that's a great tip. So, order the food ahead. If you have an app, you can order ahead, because you walk in there's 25 people ahead of you, and you just pick it up on the app, and you pay on the app and stuff like that.
Got to realize these towns don't get that busy throughout the year, so when they do have the Indy 500, and they do have their sporting events and all, but not that often. It's once, twice a year, 3 times a year, depending on the city. So, got to be patient with some of them.
I think this year, so Gen Con 50, the number sticks out. Gen Con 50 was 50,000 people. Yeah. I think last year there was
70.
Last year was 70. I thought this year was 70. So, but this year is also 70 or pushing over 70,000. And I don't know if it can get any bigger. What do you think?
I mean, they are building another hotel, as some of the photos you saw in the Facebook.
Oh, is that what that was? Across the street, that was a hotel?
Yeah, massive. That's supposed to be built for next year or 28. I forget exactly the completion date, but you never know with these projects. And that, that's another huge area to run events if they're smart. They have a big ballroom
Yeah.
that could host more table events or more whatever. So now you just opened it up to a lot more people. You
Hmm.
could not only house them, but you could run events there now. Who knows what else they're going to offer if they have storefronts in there or whatnot. And it's directly across the street from the convention center, so easy to get to. So they start doing that, well, now you just up the limit some more, and
Yeah.
then and if they keep doing that and they keep adding in different spots, and best thing is all these hotels are connected by bridges. So if it's bad weather or
Yeah,
if it's
I
you could
like that.
you
I think that's pretty cool the way everything is just interconnected.
you never have to step outside other than go to a food truck. Uh, so yeah, it is really nice, and I think they could probably do 90K. I think
Wow.
they like. I
Wow.
mean, I think they can do 80 right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see. Uh, we'll
So
see how much they keep growing.
do you have what we are doing? You have a little list of what we are doing you could share with us. These are confirmed events.
Mm.
We put in our lottery ticket as a big group. Who wants to do what we can get into, and you hit that button, and stuff sells out fast. We still got into events,
Yeah.
but if you are more than, I don't know, 1 or 2 thousand on that list. We missed out on some of the stuff. So why don't you read off what you have listed there for us, Dave, and we'll go through it.
We are doing some D&D and some Space Hulk and a few other random things. But start us off on Thursday is the big dealer floor day. So dealer floor opens at 10 a.m. We basically spend the day in there checking out new games, buying stuff, and just trying to take it all in because it's a lot. And so I try not to do anything, but we did find a D&D session towards the end of the day. It's the Greystone Vetu's 6 of the Ashland Hunt, which is a level 12
Mm,
adventure. I believe it's levels 10 through 12. And
okay.
basically, you're doing an escort for a nobleman's son who needs to earn his manhood through a ritual practiced through the Ashlands. So there's going to be some fire salamanders we need to fight off, as well as probably some other terrible things. It's
Is
kind of
this the
vague.
one? Is this the one where we have to bring our characters or make characters?
This is the one where I reached out and the guy said we could either make or he'll have pre-made. I
What do
think
you
we're
think you want to do?
I think it'd be fun to make because they're all the other one we're doing is level 1 through 4. So that
Mhm.
one's probably gonna be pre-made, or it doesn't really matter because you gotta level up.
Mhm.
So you could build it at the table pretty much. But this one would be fun because we are doing 4 of us, so we can plan out our builds. It's you, me, Andrew, and Scott. So we could it'd be a fun night to maybe meet up and maybe even stream a building party. And,
I mean, I would like to have Roy Angamar
mm,
ride again.
I think you should.
The tiefling warlock, who for some reason I think he causes chaos. But his story is not over. He's been in many places. He's been causing chaos in many different places. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Roy Angamar, the tiny flame, could be causing chaos in Indianapolis. I think it would be a fun thing.
So I'm reading it now. In order for this gentleman to get his manhood through rituals, he must slay a salamander with his own hands to be considered a man. The only trouble is, he's a bookish nerd, and he sucks at being
Wow.
he sucks at being a man.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's gonna be basically like one of those video game, the World of Warcraft escort missions where you have
Yeah.
to like escort a guy through a terrible area. He probably has a +1 to hit, and it's gonna be terrible. We probably have to keep fighting things until he gets the last shot on it.
Oh, hold back!
So
Don't kill it.
yeah,
Oh, and then you'll do the last shot. Oh, we got to find another one. It's a
yeah,
fourth one.
But I mean, it might, it's infested, so who knows how terrible this will be for us. But I kind of like the theme. It'll be a little bit of challenge, just trying to keep this guy alive.
Mhm.
So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. And we're doing that Thursday night at 5. The second one we're doing is a Grim Hollow battle type thing. I forget what the exact scenario is for this one. This is the level 1 through 4, but I like it because it's the Grim Hollow crew. They have a pretty well established footing in running one shots, as well as
Okay.
a good footing in the D&D community. Grim Hollow, I'm sure you're familiar with.
Yep.
The same crew.
Yep.
They provide dice, paper, and characters. You can build a character, but it's got to be in their Grim Hollow setting. But I think in that one, I'll just do a pre-gen because it's just like at level 1 through 4. So
Yeah.
it's more of the story than it is, building out a character in that regard, at least for me. And I'm kind of, they're Ghostfire Gaming. They have the Eldritch Lore cast and many other things they run on YouTube. Very famous in that regard. So they're ghostfiregaming.com. They're running this particular module. So I'm looking forward to seeing how their one shots get played and run out and what they do differently.
Okay. I like it. I like it. We are doing Space Hulk, which I'm excited for too. Not Dungeons and Dragons related. It's Warhammer 40K. But again, it's that giant board. And how many of us are playing in that, Dave? Did we all get for that one, the Emperor's
Yeah,
Promise?
there's 8 of us.
So there's going to be 8 of us. But here's the thing. We have no idea which faction will be. Some people could be the bad guys. Some people could be the good guys. So you might be faced across from me, Dave. I might be trying to use my bolt guns to mow down your evil alien Tyranids.
Which is a question the group had. I haven't had time to really discuss it, so we can discuss that right now. Do you know whether it is you control one single mini or a unit?
I believe it's a unit,
Ooh.
but there is a possibility that you might have like a Carnifex, in which case you only have one.
Sure.
So the bigger monsters will be like one because they have like maybe 8, 10 wounds. They have multiple wounds.
Yeah,
And they have the strength of a unit. Yep. That's
Okay.
exactly it. So Dreadnoughts, Carnifex is a one-off, and then the units, I think you have it's a 3 or 5 man unit. But they have multiple dungeon masters running it, and the board is big enough that I think when the action's going on, if you're on one end and you're doing something and I'm on the other end, we're going simultaneous. It's not going to interfere because in range.
Great.
And when it gets closer, the game masters kind of confer and they're like, oh, okay, let's slow it down a second and then go, slow down the turns and make sure everybody goes in the right order.
I love it. Looking forward to that. It's very custom in a sense because Space Hulk is just a one-on-one game. So to make it a 16 player or whatever size game it is very interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that all plays out, especially since it's a game we could all do together with our group. There is 5 of us going who have already been to Gen Con multiple times this year. Hello, how's it going? This particular year, we are going with 5 other people who have never gone. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how they take it all in this year. So it's nice that we can all play at least one game together before we all disperse. So this sounds like it'll be a good one because we're all big fans of 40K, and this will be a nice little break from the day and throw some dice, kill each other.
Yeah. So Blood on the Clock Tower. Tell me a little bit about that because we were supposed to play it, get used to it, but we haven't played it yet. We've been busy with playing our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. You are running one. You're also doing Shadowrun. You're busy. So, and we're trying to do one shots in between. We're trying to do an alien one shot. So what is Blood on the Clock Tower? This is kind of a big thing, or like it's becoming popular.
Yeah, Blood on the Clock Tower is a social deduction game that has from out of the box, it's got like several different scenarios you could choose from. And those scenarios are a lot like Werewolf in the sense that everyone sits in a group and you try to figure out who the bad person is. In this particular case, you might be trying to figure out who the demon is. The the evil doer is changed depending on the scenario.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a role. So there's like the Undertaker, and basically that means after someone does get chosen to die and they get killed, or if they get killed by the demon in the night, the next day the Undertaker basically gets to dig them up and determine whether or what they were. So if they were a villager, you could confirm that. And if they were a if they were a demon or a demon's assistant, you could also confirm that.
Mhm.
Or you could lie. So there's usually like 3 evil guys and like the rest are good. So that you really try to play like who's who. You have a lot of abilities that are kind of unique. Like I can't even think of them off the top of my head, but at the uh, end of the day, it'll be a social deduction game that we all could play together. I think it goes up to like 42 players.
What? 42?
Yeah, the one we're doing in particular is I think only up to 12, so we don't have to worry about
So
too much.
is this like Werewolf on steroids? Werewolf is a social deduction game. You have a bunch of people with different roles, but this is more role playing like. Have you played this, Dave?
I have not played it. I have seen a Let's Play, and I sat down with Chris, and he gave me a copy to read to Rod because he wanted to play it. Which timing is the key to ruin every good time in our gaming community.
Yeah.
So we unfortunately did not get any time together to play it. So I said, well, let's just do it at Gen Con because we'll all be there. And at the very least, if we enjoy it, it'll be a lot easier to convince everybody to play it when we come back home. So that was the main reason of doing it. But basically, you're basically trying to figure out who's this murder mystery, with the abilities. And there's voting. And the cool thing is when you do die, you are not out of the game. You get basically a last vote or a candle, depending on how they do it. So even when the voting comes, you can interact. They can ask you questions still, or they can still ask you about your abilities or what you were, and you could still vote. You have one last vote, and then once that vote is cast, then you're done. Then you can't cast any more voting.
Okay.
So you could work with the dead people, be like, let's use all our votes. We help the group or hurt the group if you're evil.
So you're never really out of the game, which is important,
No.
right? Because,
and the other werewolf games, you had the 24-hour one, which you die, you get put into another group and you just keep going. And this, no, you're still important to the role. So yeah, like as you can see right here, minimum player is 15, maximum 45. So yeah, it gets pretty.
And the runtime, and this is saying about 2 hours. So
yeah,
we'll finish the game in about 2 hours.
There are lots of YouTube videos of Let's Plays of this, of gaming groups and non-gaming groups alike. So I would say definitely give it a look. You might find a particular group that runs it that's very interesting.
Nice.
All right, so check it out.
Cool. The Tower of Geigen. Kill it, keep it. Kill it, keep it. So yes. I'm not sure. 5 hours. We're just gonna keep charging forward, and when we're dead, we walk away. I'm not even sure.
No, it's only 2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours. Okay.
It's
5th edition rules.
5th edition rules. Maximum 21 players. From what I understand, is basically where it aligned. This particular one is an adult red dragon. It is a rare one that I don't make anymore. Or they're really hard to find. The particular mold. So I'm guessing we're gonna just be like, we roll attack, we do damage. She then stops on us. We're dead. We go to the back of the line and rinse and repeat until someone gets the last hit. I'm guessing.
Wow.
Some combination of that.
It's going to be brutal the first hour, whatever it's going to be. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be stomp, dead. And then it's going to get to the point where he's down to like 20, 15, 10. And, somebody's going to roll a dice and 1 hit point left, stomp. And the next guy's like, yeah, I'm going to kill him. And then he's going to miss. So you just don't know, right? I mean, it's going to get down to
or someone will crit when there's like 20 left and and get the kill. So
and then supposedly, so this is going to be a WizKids model, and we're going to get to the killing blow keeps the model, right? That's the understanding of it.
Yeah, the last one who gets the kill keeps it.
And this particular one, you said, is the adult. We started for the adult Red Dragon, and there was a bunch of these, and there were different major monsters, right? I think there was a Tiamat one. But like I said, this is a hard to get monster with a MSRP value of $99 at least. So, wow, that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be cool. You think it's gonna be boring waiting? Like, you think the line's gonna move fast? I don't know, Dave.
I don't know. Scott convinced us to do this. I'm not sure if he did it before or if it just seems cool. I mean, it seems fine, like a good way to kill 2 hours.
Yeah, and maybe it'll go a little quicker. Who knows?
And hell, maybe one of us will win a really cool mini.
Well, I was not expecting to win a little statue when we did the Monster Mash with Olmo Lightbringer, the halfling. So there's always a chance.
That is true. I would have never guessed you were gonna win.
Yeah. Oh, do I see Daggerheart on there? I heard Daggerheart is all the rage, and everybody in the world is going to leave Dungeons and Dragons, never to play again, to play the ultimate game, Daggerheart, because it uses the D12 system.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about all of the other stuff, but yes, we are trying this. It is a introduction to the Stablewood Forest. This Stablewood, yeah. Anyway, it's a larger play, so it's just an hour long, and we'll get the basics of the game. Probably run through a quick little combat scenario of some sort and send us on our merry way. It's a system that I'm interested in trying. I would like to see how it flows, how it plays out. I know it's very physical cards and such that players get for their roles and abilities. So I'm curious just to see the quality of all of it in person. And at the very least, try it, because I don't want to commit to the 4-hour, 3-hour game that they have. I think most of them are like 4 or 5 hours before at least just try it, because if I commit to that and I don't like it and I'm stuck doing it for the rest of the evening or whatever.
Are you going to run out and buy all the Daggerheart books?
No, I probably won't buy any of it. It doesn't scratch any new itch for me, in the sense that it's still in that setting. It's still in that like high fantasy setting or adjacent. So there's Pathfinder, there's D&D, there's so many other versions. Shadowdark. There's many other versions that are. I want
to make a good Dungeons and Dragons point. Okay, Daggerheart, Pathfinder, all these different games come out. If you, as a player or a dungeon master, ever really have a big yearning to have a different system, you can just make your own world. We're doing that with Erendor, and we've all experimented with it, but we're really diving deep into making this new world with its own kind of magic and its own kind of rules, using the D&D system. And you could change stuff. You could add light and dark dice. You could change the way stuff is rolled. I mean, you could go to Daggerheart, if you wanted to have a system where you didn't want to create something new. But if you want to create your own stuff, there's nothing in the rules to say you can't. You could actually jump into D&D and just create anything you wanted to. And that's a fun experience with itself. That creative process is fun within itself. And I just think the company that's doing it is doing it so they don't have to deal with the licensing issues of D&D, and they can really expand into their own publishing company, which is good for them. They're making a whole new world. And
I mean, if it works, it works. I mean, it's a story. It's a story-driven game where there's, from what I understand, there's no initiative. So it's like, all right, I want to go now because I got an idea and I'm going to do this, that, and that. You know what I mean? So it's very like tell the best story, which is a very different audience that they're grabbing. So you got the people that are purist strategy. They like the grids. They like the my turn. I got 2 actions. I could do this, that, and that. Those people, I don't think those people will translate to this. Yeah. But that's just for me from an outside view. I'll know more once I play it. I do like playing new systems because there might be a ruling in there that I like, and I might adapt as a house rule. There might be a creature in there that I can steal and use in my game. There might be a plot that I like or something. So it could be something you take away from every game. So that's why I like to try multiple systems.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. So that's kind of our Gen Con wrap up. Not a wrap up. That's just kind of where we're at. Maybe we'll do another Gen Con video.
If you a
We just
quick
wanted to
little,
talk.
this is
Oh yeah, let's have the map here.
this is zoom out.
So
Zoom
for our
out.
podcast
Zoom
listeners,
out.
DM Evanson's pulling up a map in here. We're looking at Lucas Oil Stadium, which is on South Capitol Drive next to Southwest Street. Across the street, you see the Crown Plaza, which is one of the major hotels, and that's connected to the Indiana Convention Center, which is on West Maryland Street and South Capitol Street. And then there's hotels just south of there. There's the Marriott, there's the Westin, there's the Hyatt Regency. To the west, we have the Severin, we have Le Mediterranean. And so you can find this map online. Just go to the Indiana Convention Center. There's a baseball field next to it. I don't know what's about that.
It's a minor league, I believe, baseball stadium.
Okay.
Right across from the JW, which this year the group's staying at, or some of us are staying at. But all these areas that you see here that are like great are areas that the convention runs things out of. So the stadium, the Crown, the Union, and all the way down, there are events being run at some capacity at all these, as well as some of the restaurants are running things, as well as some of people have offshoot things of their private events, parties. There's theaters in town that are running shows or have actual plays going on. So this con is just massive in size.
So this particular map is on the Gen Con app and on the Gen Con website, where you would find your information. So if you're looking at this map, just zoom out, and anything in tan and brown color is basically all the convention center, Lucas Oil Stadium, and hotels. So everything in tan, there is something going on. Every single room is filled. There are auctions. There's games being run. There are new companies previewing their games. There's food everywhere. There are all little food stands set up throughout the hotels, water. Some of the food vendors, there's like a soda guy where you can have like unlimited soda for the weekend. You pay one price, I think, for the cup. I think Gen Con actually has itself. The Gen Con Indiana Convention Center has a cup where you buy the cup for the weekend, and it's like $30. But then I think refills are like $1 or something like that. So
free refills, I think.
Is it free refills? Okay.
Yeah, it was. Those are pretty good prices. There's like $20-$30. And free refills all
get that right away, even if you just right away. Water.
Yeah, absolutely, it's worth it. I mean, it is big, but you throw it in a backpack, you're good to go. And if you're thirsty, you refill. They have. So if you look over here on the map, the north side of the convention center, there is a little walkway, and once you come out here, you'll have the parking lot, which is where they have the block party. This is the street where they'll have all the vending food trucks. So the block party has a soda truck that does the same deal. You buy the cup, you use it there. I think you get a discount, as well as the stadium. So those are the two spots.
So that block party has music, and it has a bunch of vendors, but it has a lot of I want to say table food, not food truck food.
Yeah.
It's people with a booth, a 10x10 or a 20x20 booth set up, and they're cooking there, which is food truck-esque, but there's no truck. So yeah, that's a definite area to check out. And the pedestrian walkway has vendors. And last year, and I think every year, they set up, I want to say maybe 50 to 100 pinball machines.
Yeah, going down this whole way. Yeah.
They have a pinball contest, or you just want to play. I think you can buy either a ticket or pay individually. And they have, I think most of the machines are the modern machines, but they're the newer ones, like the Jurassic Parks and the Star Wars and Marvel, which are the high end pinball machines by Williams and these other companies. Definitely worth seeing. Especially if you love pinball and maybe you don't have a pinball hall in your town or haven't played in a while. You get to see all the new machines.
Pinball, I actually was tempted to play. It was just so much to do.
I think I stopped at one or two machines caught my eye. I like the horror stuff. So there was like a Monster Mash machine, and then I think there was a newer Star Wars one that just came out, and it was supposed to be like the Battle of Yavin, had the X-Wing and stuff. So it had all the effects, and the graphics. The newer pinball machines have these graphics and video screens. So if something happens in the game, it kind of pops up, and there's like a mini game up there. So I did stop. I didn't spend too much time, but I couldn't help myself. I had to play a couple.
And this year they should have the new Dungeons and Dragons pinball machine, I would imagine.
I'm going to check that out. You know, we're going to be filming some D&D content. Speaking of that, I'm going to hit you with some. Breaking news. I'm hitting my breaking news button because I love this thing.
Breaking news.
So we have on D&D Beyond, we have Honor Among Thieves, the Thieves Gallery. So this is a free asset. I think it's a free asset. I was able to access it, although I am under the Dead Professor's account, right? So he has the full tier access and a bunch of the books. But the Thieves Gallery for Honor Among Thieves has a handful of characters from Honor Among Thieves movie, presented here as a stat block, not as a character really, but a stat block. They have Doric. She's the wood elf, and they have her ability to change into an owlbear 5 times a day, or any creature with a challenge rating of 3 or less. She's a druid, but she has fire rebuke also. She's sitting on 104 hit points, armor class 14, and some spell casting. But really, the thing is the owlbear. We have Edgin Darvis, which is the bard, played by that famous actor. And what I thought about was funny about this, in the movie, he didn't really cast any spells, but maybe he did. He has friends, charm person, and suggestion. Those spells. He has inspiring words like a bard. And what I really thought was funny was take a look at his reinforced loot, DM Evanson. A reinforced loot, melee weapon, +5 to hit, 5-foot reach, 1 target, hitting for 6 points of damage. That's 1d8 +2 bludgeoning damage, plus 11. That's 2d10 thunder damage.
That's
so his loot, his reinforced loot, he's smacking people with thunder damage. But they gave him a short sword also with the same exact stats. So I don't know. I just thought it was funny because he was hitting people with his loot, and he was damaging them. He has some inspiring words 3 times a day. Forge Fitzwilliams, he is the bad guy in the movie. He's neutral evil. The things that stand out about him and his stat block is a charisma of 20 and an armor class of 17 with the ability, or the armor ability, disarming charm. And I was like, why is his armor class 17? His dex is 14 +2. But while Forge is not wearing armor, his armor class includes his charisma modifier. So they're giving him a +5 charisma.
His heavy crossbow is pretty cool.
His heavy crossbow is
not really damage, but the hit or miss ability.
Okay, so hit or miss ability. If a target is a creature, it has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the start of Forge's next turn. Oh, hit or miss. If he shoots you,
shoots at you,
and you're like, oh my god, he's diving for cover.
It does 1d10 +2, which is black, but it also does another 7d6 poison.
That's 24 average. That's a lot of poison damage.
Yeah.
So 110 hit points. So if this was a character, and he's not, he's a stat block. Challenge rating 8. If this was a character, do you think that means he's level 8, or would you put him at 110 hit points for a bard? They classify him as a humanoid. They don't classify him as a thief or a rogue or a bard or anything like that. He does have thieves' cant. So would he be? He would be like a 10th or 12th level character, you think?
No. Well, I mean, the HP is what throws it all off. But what's he got, a +4 to hit? I mean, he's got a daggers +4. His main thing is a +7. So he's probably around your current level. Level 5.
Okay. But they just pumped up his hit points because he's a stat block, and if he had 40 hit points or 50 hit points, and you were fighting him, you would just obliterate him in 1 round, right? Throw something.
Yeah, I mean, just nothing scary here. I mean, his armor class is decent. It's 17, so it's a little, but not that crazy to hit. But most people have like +8, +5, around that time.
Yep.
So he's probably best for at range to deal with, or as an antagonist, not even necessarily someone who you fight, just someone who you have to deal with. It maybe
persuasion and deception at +11. So, which I think that should be a separate episode, or a separate talking point on the podcast is is that, if one of our characters said, "Hey, I want to intimidate somebody," and it fails, like, the person will talk tough, and they'll be like, the person will talk tough, and doesn't work. It does. You say, "Hey, no, you failed your roll. It doesn't work," and they're still talking tough. It's like, your character can talk tough at it, but it's just not doing anything. They're laughing at you, even if they're weakening you. Well, I can kill them. Yeah, you sure you can just kill them, but you failed your roll, and now you should role play it that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have Holga Kilgore. She is the barbarian. She's sitting at 120 hit points. She has the dark steel great axe, which just some slashing damage, but she can do 3 attacks, which is a lot of attacks. She can do reckless stuff. Resistant to lightning from the axe, armor class of 1,520 hit points. Simon, he was a sorcerer. They gave him a bunch of spells. They gave him a sheltering shield, which basically they have resistance to the damage. He has some sending stones, the bag of holding. He has his wild magic surge stuff, which was kind of silly in the movie, but I enjoyed it. I feel like the movie did a good job of showing how the madness of the characters, or the kind of craziness of the characters.
Yeah.
And Sophina, which is the Red Wizard of Thay, she did 161 hit points. She is the big bad, one of the big bads in it. She can summon a wraith in the monster manual once a day. She has swarm of meteors once a day, which is a ton of damage. And then she has a bunch of spells. I don't think she'd be too hard to fight. Maybe at level 5 she would be, but she definitely needs some support for the, what do you call it, the efficiency of action, or the number of actions. So she has no legendary actions. And then there was the paladin, Zek Andar. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. 157 hit points, and he was just very heroic in the game. He's got a bunch of weapons, a bunch of multi-attacks, an aura protection. So anyway, that's online available. That's on D&D Beyond. It should be available for free. You have those stat blocks from the movie and some great artwork.
I think those are all the art that they use for the magic cards as well.
Really? That's cool. Yeah, the art's awesome on it. I love it. I love the way they break, especially this first little picture we're looking at here, where it just has a thin slice of each one, and it kind of breaks it down. And every one, it's the same artist, it looks like, with the different color tones and palette. I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's kind of it. DM Evanson, any parting words of wisdom for our Gen Con goers?
It's about 30 days from today, so get your stuff together. Time's running out.
30 days.
30 wonderful days. Looking forward to hit the road. Looking forward to the road trip, chatting along the way, and coming up with new fun ideas along the road as we have about 11-hour drive.
Oh, yeah. It's a long drive for us. We're leaving from New York, driving to Indianapolis, and we'll be doing some lives there. I'm going to be recording. I got a new little DJI camera I was talking to you in the green room about. I got my cell phone. We'll do some interviews. We're going to focus on D&D content, of course.
Yeah.
And we'll put some lives up. And I think we're going to try to give out some 3D printed miniatures there and some cards to grow our channel. So if you see Dark Alchemy and you're walking around, hit us up, and we will give you a little printed miniature. That's it. So, well, thank you for joining me this Sunday morning, dear Evanson. I hope you have a great day.
Yes, you too. Thank you for having me.
We will see you next week.
Till next time.